Hey guys, it's Brian from the SE Optimist here. Today I wanted to do a vlog on helping people who have had the question, what are the types of questions that I should be asking a marketing or web design company or anything like that when I'm thinking of doing things to my website. They may have seen some of my videos before and agree with the stories they've heard about. I've worked with half a dozen people over the years and I've never really gotten the results that I've been looking for, and I don't know why this keeps happening to me. And I think the simplest answer I could give to that, and then I will expound upon that, is to ask why. No matter what they're selling you, no matter what you're talking about, doing, why are you doing it? And if they can't clearly articulate that to you, it's probably not a good fit. And if they can't clearly articulate that, they probably don't have the expertise you're looking for, or they're just being deliberately obtuse, and that's not a good situation for you to be in. Now, here's what I mean by that. Let's start with content strategy. If somebody comes in and says, I want to rewrite all the content on your site, and I want to do different things with your blog posts, and I want to make landing pages, and I want to blah, blah, blah. Don't let it just stop there as a generalized blanket statement that landing pages are good, blogging is good, I'm going to do those things, therefore what I'm doing is good. That's way too superficial. If they don't have some kind of real plan of, like saying to a website, your content is too generic, you're talking to too many people, and you're not doing anything to build rapport. I want to focus us on just this one target market that you have. I've determined that their needs and wants are these 5 things, and I think that by structuring the content this way on the front page and then blogging about these topics in this way, we're really going to address what they're looking for more and make it a lot clearer that you're the solution. Something like that is a good answer to how they're going to help your site. If they're just saying, I'm going to write blog posts for you, so what? And if they don't have a clear plan for what that content is going to mean and how it's going to be perceived, you're probably going to end up in the same situation you've been in before. People are going to do a bunch of busy work on your site, and then you're still going to be confused about what's even happened or what's going to occur next. And the other one I think that why really helps with is with website redesign. Anecdotally, I've known quite a few people that when they approached a marketing agency for help, my website is not generating the leads that I really hoped it would, what can you do to help me? The first thing out of that agency's mouth is, well, I'm going to redesign your site. Why? I mean, maybe it's true that the site is really old, or it's got a bad design, or it's cluttered, or it's confusing, something. And maybe legitimately it needs to be redesigned, but then if you asked why, they could give you those answers. But I feel like far too often, they don't even really look at the website the person has. Their go-to answer for everything is, well, we just redesigned the site, and we hope that during the process of our redesigning it, we're going to optimize what we're doing, and then cross our fingers that what we produce is just going to be better than what you had, and then everybody's happy. And when no one asks questions, I think that's what actually happens sometimes. And I know, again, anecdotally, in a couple of situations, there were people I knew. Their website was fairly well designed. It got compliments from people they networked with. And it was generating phone calls, so you can tell that the content was at least reasonably dialed in, and that from an optimization standpoint, it was at least reasonably done. And the first thing out of a company's mouth that they approached was, we're going to redesign it. And when I heard about that, I laughed because I'm like, but your site was fine. Like, even if you had hired me as a consultant, I would have had some suggestions and things that I could do, but a complete redesign would never have been a recommendation of mine. I'll back up for a moment to say I understand the principle behind wanting to say that, because when I've been involved in web redesign projects or SEO projects as well, I know it's kind of an overused example of the analogy of pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it and wondering why you can't fill it up. But it does feel a bit like that if you're doing SEO on a website that's really dated or just poorly put together. You're driving a lot of traffic to something that's just not set up to convert those leads. I understand the truth behind that. However, you employ that when it's called for, not as an immediate measure. And I think when people don't ask questions and they say, oh, well, he said I needed a new website, so that's what I did. Then you end up with the stories that I hear all the time of people saying, I've paid to redesign my website 3 times in the last 5 or 6 years, and I've still never gotten out of it what I really hoped to, and I don't know why. And if I had to hazard a guess, is the reason that all those redesigns are not creating the results that they're looking for, it's one of 2 things. One, all you ever focused on was creating a site that was pretty, and so you had 3 different pretty designs that never addressed the search optimization portion of what a website needs to do, and so it just never got the traffic that it needed. Or the site was always well put together from a design and optimization standpoint, but the site needs more than just being built and saying, I'm here to dominate search. And if you're throwing your whole budget every year or 2 at redesigning it again, but not doing anything else to actually market that website, redesigning it yet another time is not going to change anything. Now, an unscrupulous person that works in that industry might tell you that redesigning it yet again will make all the difference in the world. Well, my opinion is that no, it doesn't. And I think that's the situation a lot of people find themselves in. Run with a site that's at least decent, dial your content in, and focus on promoting that website and continuously adding something of value to that website on a regular basis so that you look different than your competitors and so that there's a real reason for people to come there. That's going to make way bigger of a difference. Now, I don't say any of that to dump on anybody in particular, because there's a lot of great web design and marketing agencies around in any given town that you're talking about that probably do a great job of everything I've talked about. However, as the focus of this entire channel is, there's just a lot of things that I've seen over the years, either in places I've worked, people I've worked with, subcontracted through, or just stories I've heard from people that I know. And this is something that happens a lot. And I think a little bit more skepticism and a lot more asking why when you're talking to somebody about marketing your website would prevent so much of this. I hope this was useful for you guys. If you have specific questions related to this or any part of this you want me to delve into more detail on, I'm happy to do it. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.